So Beckham brought you here.
Yes. I spoke with him before I came. His son's a big Arsenal fan, Romeo. There's playing the game, there's teaching the game, but then there's also teaching how to teach the game. I'm a big believer in Bitcoin.
Who do you think is going to win the World Cup next year?
Oof. I mean, it's going to be...
What's your bet, right? If you could bet...
If I had to bet...
Welcome to Game Plan, a podcast where you're going to be meeting athletes, business owners, entrepreneurs, and industry leaders. I'm Kaio, and I'm going to be your host. What is your game plan?
On this week's episode, Kieran Gibbs.
Miami summer, right?
What a beautiful day, man.
How is it treating you?
Oh, it's amazing. I'm glad we can make this happen, actually.
When you look to kids in America and how they play soccer and you compare to Europe, how does that feel for you?
Well, I mean, you have to see them as... football is a new sport here, you know, in terms of history and where the sport comes from. So that has to be taken into consideration. You know, I think if you compare basketball in the UK, or, you know, they don't have NFL, but it's just it is totally different. It's viewed totally different back home than it is here. There's no right or wrong. Football is opinion. It's an opinion-based game. But I definitely think that there is an appetite here. And I think that people are looking to not recreate what's back home, but definitely take some of the core values of football from Europe, and instill it here. And so, you know, we kind of see ourselves at the forefront of that, because there is that appetite and there's just a rapid growth. I mean, even since I've been here 4 years ago, I've seen the interest in the game grow exponentially. Obviously, you have the likes of Messi here now, Suarez, Busquets. And so, you know, I think people are kind of at an inflection point as to like, where does the game go from here? And we want to make sure that it stays here, you know, even past the World Cup and what's coming to the US.
Are American kids good at playing soccer or football? Do you call football or soccer? Let's start with that.
No, come on. As in, do I call it to the kids?
Yeah.
No, I say football. I try to say football.
You're trying to implement
the parents. Maybe I say soccer more, because, you know, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. But the kids, I like to try to say to them.
It even hurts when you say soccer. I can feel that. Let's talk about that. When you were young, like, you started very early, right, in your career. What was the main drive for you? What was the kick that got you to say, all right, I want to be a soccer player. I'm really good at what I do.
I didn't think about it as like I was really good. I didn't know that I was that good. And also you struggle to remember. I struggle to remember my earliest days playing. My first team was a team called Pearly Panthers, which was a local team. But I was just obsessed with playing football. I didn't know if I was good or not good compared to... I used to think that there was other players in other teams that were amazing. And I always just loved being on the pitch with a ball in my hand. Baby pictures, I have always a football in my hand. And it just started from there. I guess my dad was a big football fan, Liverpool fan. Randomly, he was born on Liverpool Road. But my mum's side of the family were all Arsenal fans, and they used to watch all the games when we were young on TV. I remember my first World Cup, watching Michael Owen, and then thinking like, wow, this game is just amazing. And so, yeah, my journey really started kind of from there.
So when you were growing up, who were your idols back then?
Oh, I mean, I cannot forget Michael Owen from that '98 World Cup. That will just is an unforgettable memory of him scoring against Argentina and those iconic times. And then I think as I grew, my first academy was Wimbledon. So there were players in the first team when I joined that academy that I really looked up to. players called Joby McAnuff, Nigel Reo-Coker, countless others really. But then probably as an Arsenal fan as well, I love Dennis Bergkamp. I just loved him, like the way he played the game, and I played kind of similar position to him in my young years, and I just loved the way he played the game.
It
So
seems
I would say also R9. R9 was just like so iconic. In his Brazil kit with the Nike Tiempo boots, it's just like you can't beat those times.
yeah,
for me.
yeah. It's interesting. You didn't say Pelé, Maradona.
Yeah, I think
Ronaldo.
that they were like the
Ronaldo.
generation
Ronaldo.
before.
You were already playing, right? When you were not.
Yeah. But R9, I mean,
R9.
yeah, R9 is, for me, as a kid growing up, what more could you want
Exactly.
than watching that? It was just such a beautiful time.
Was there any particular game or time that you were watching that you were like, that's what I want to do in my life. That's where I want to go. I want to be a professional soccer player.
But I would say yes, but that didn't come until around 15. Around 15. Before that, I'll be honest, I didn't know you could do it as a job. Like, I didn't know it was like I didn't understand that it was like a job that you could pursue as a career, and like that was your thing to do until I was 15.
And you stay 10 years on Arsenal.
Yeah.
That's unusual, right?
Yeah.
How was that experience for you, playing 10 years there, having Arsene Wenger as your coach?
Yeah, I mean, I was actually there longer. I was there
over 10 years.
I was there over 10 years because I was there as an academy graduate from 14. So it's a weird one because it's like I didn't really know any different at that age. I went to Arsenal at 14 from Wimbledon. And I think now that I've finished and I haven't played for a couple of years, you have more time to digest and look back. And I honestly took a lot of my football education for granted, I think, because I just thought at that time that was the standard and that was how you learn football and that's it. So I didn't really know any different. That's why, now I'm trying to teach the game and trying to give the information that I've learned throughout my career and try and give it to other people. That's like a whole different world. It's like a whole different world. And that was a big learning curve for me over the last year, is that there's playing the game, there's teaching the game, but then there's also teaching how to teach the game. Because we have to overlook all of our coaches and we have to try to tell them what we want for all the kids. But yeah, going back, like, I mean, it's hard for me to compare it to anything else because I was there for so long. And then obviously I moved to West Brom after, but it was an incredible period of my life, where I managed to live my dream. I feel super fortunate and blessed to have done it. And I didn't really have time to think about it then. You just always look for the next game, the next training. And
the next game plan.
The next game plan.
Right.
Exactly.
But you were playing, you had a great coach, right? And do you see yourself now as you want to be the next Arsene? You think you can do that?
I don't think I don't know if I would like to coach, honestly. I think what I have now in 1FC, I think is something that I feel more connected to, rather than coaching one team. But that's not to say that it would, I don't completely write anything off. But if I was going to be a coach, of course, all of the values and the lessons that I learned from him, I would transfer that for sure, because he's one of the best managers to have ever existed. So again, like, I'm just super grateful that I got what I got from him during that time. And yeah, I use it now when I speak everyday football to the people at 1FC.
What is the common traits that you've seen playing over 200 professional games in good coaches?
Honestly, probably values. I think values. And I think that just doesn't run in football. It's a team, it's an organization. So that's also what we have to focus on with 1FC is who are we? Like, what are our values? Because that's going to be the foundation of anything successful. I also have my co-founders Blaise and Sylvain, who, they went to Clairefontaine, which is in France, the best football school in the world. And they have their own values as well. And so we try to make like a hybrid of both. And I think that that's the most important thing.
People tend to think that to be a good soccer player, we are just born with a talent. Is that true?
No, it's not true. It's not true. And I say that because I'm an example of it. I think I had some talent, but I definitely think I applied myself in the right way at the right time. And I think that I tend to not believe in luck. But if I was to describe any type of luck, it's when hard work meets opportunity. And I think, like you said, hard work is the first and foremost before talent. For us at 1FC as well, that's extremely, extremely important. We try to instill that every single day, not just with the kids, but with the coaches and everyone that works in the background. We all have our roles to play, and you have to work hard. You have to work
right. Have to wake up early. Have to work harder than other. And maybe that's also why soccer in America is not as developed as basketball, because you don't have kids, or you didn't have kids 30 years ago playing soccer as you have right now. So I'm sure soccer is in a positive trend in America, that I'm sure. And with 1FC, obviously, with schools like yours, coaching facilities or training facilities, I'm sure this is changing the game, right? You have that culture of soccer, and plus you have the environment, the terroir that helps kids to develop. You've been living in Miami for 4 years now, right? How long?
I've been here 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah, I moved here in July 2021.
2021. So you moved here during the peak, the COVID peak, the bond,
Yep.
the crypto peak.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you played for Miami for 2 seasons?
That's right. 2 seasons, yeah. Bit of a crazy time. I didn't really know where I was going to have the next stage of my career when I was in my last year at West Brom. I had a few different decisions to make. But honestly, I'm very happy now looking back. That was 4 years ago, over 4 years ago. Very happy that I made that decision. I think I always wanted to play in a different country. And I just think that move, really packing your bags and going to another country, I think is very important life experience. It grew me up a lot. I had to do a lot of things for myself that I probably wasn't used to. One of the fortunate or unfortunate things when you play professional football from a young age, a lot of things are done for you so that you can focus on the pitch. But I think coming here really opened up my eyes to different parts of the world, different culture, and I'm loving it.
What made you move? What was the kick for you?
I think I just saw. I saw room for potential for me to have an impact here, as opposed to other parts of the world. I knew that it was growing here because obviously the franchise was new and David was behind it. I had lengthy conversations with him about the project and football in America.
So Beckham brought you here, or he convinced you to be here?
Yes. I spoke with him before I came. Obviously, we didn't play together, but we were involved in a squad or two, and he used to come. His son's a big Arsenal fan, Romeo. So he used to come to the games a lot, and we knew each other. So yeah, I spoke with him. I spoke with Phil, the manager at the time, and it was really them that convinced me that this was the right move for me. The
good decision to be in Miami was Beckham's guidance or support, one of the few. And of course, he was investing at Inter Miami at this time, and you were one of the few players that, or one of the biggest stars he brought in the beginning, and now with Messi. But how does soccer will survive in America post-Messi?
Well, they have the World Cup next year. which is, the biggest sporting event in the world. I think it's the biggest event in the world. I don't even think it's the biggest sporting event. So, the World Cup is bigger than any individual. So I think it's more, where does the game go after the World Cup? And who knows? Honestly, who knows? I think that they have a big opportunity to capture the world's leading sport, and make it last here forever after this. How often are you going to get the chance to have Messi, best player in history, and World Cup all in the same time span? I like to think that we are trying to contribute a small part in football lasting long here. But it takes a lot of work. I've lived it here. I've lived it and I've seen it for the last couple of years. It is growing rapidly, but we got to capture. We got to really capture it, and it's got to take everyone. Everyone's got to get behind it. Everyone's got to get behind it, and probably some tough decisions are going to have to be made.
Like what?
Maybe things like viewership, accessibility to the sport. You can watch NBA games. You can just put the TV on. You have NBA games on.
So distribution is a problem still.
Maybe yes.
FIFA is greedy. Well, FIFA is greedy,
but this is not. This is not.
Which is a business. It's not greedy. It's a business, right?
More US.
It's a business.
Yeah. And I mean more US football. I mean more US soccer.
Which is entertainment.
Yeah. So how can you make it more accessible? Not just from a viewership, but also from someone that's playing, that wants to play the game and learn the game. And that comes down to everything, financially, opportunity, land, infrastructure.
Right.
Infrastructure. And big commitments have to be made to the infrastructure to really get, to pull in the masses and the crowds, So I would say those things.
Who do you think is going to win the World Cup next year?
Oof. I mean, it's going to be...
What's your bet, right? If you could bet...
If I had to bet, I would probably bet Spain. I would probably bet Spain.
You're the third person who tells me that in this podcast.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, the way they handled the Euros, such a young age, seemed like it was very hard to stop. I mean, very hard to stop. They have some unbelievable players. Who are those that you are? Like you as a former professional player, who are you like you think is going to be the GOAT for the next World Cup? For the next World Cup, there's a few, but it's hard to look past Jamal. It's hard to look past, to be honest. I mean, just when you thought that you had seen it all with the greats that we've seen, to have the career that he's had at his young age and the start that he's had, I will not even mention names to compare him to anyone, but it is pretty incredible what he's doing right now. So even him alone is why you can't look past Spain for a World Cup win.
Interesting. It's a one-man show, most likely.
I mean, but that's the thing. They also have insane talent around the rest of the pitch. They just have a good balance of the team, the midfield. I mean, like you've got Ballon d'Or winner there, and Rodri. Hopefully, he comes back to full fitness. But what a team!
When you think about your time playing, who was the GOAT for you? Who is the player that you played against that you were, wow, I'm scared today. I'm gonna play against him.
I would honestly say as Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard. I think he was in a different league. I mean, the year 2015, I think it was, when we just fell short to Chelsea. He, for me, single-handedly won the league for his team. And they could just really defend a lot. and rely on him. He was unplayable. He was unplayable at times.
And when you think about the MLS these days, and you played here, you scored at the Inter Stadium.
Yeah,
right. It was great.
That's right.
Great score, great goal. I'm sure that Orlando still remembers that day. When you move to Miami and to MLS, and you see the difference of talent, what is your feeling about how Europeans play and Americans play in the professional league?
Well, you have a lot of non-US players in this league. You have a lot of South Americans.
Right.
They're heavy influence from that region. So I see it as a similar, kind of like a hybrid between the South American Spanish style, and then also a US style that is very, how can I say, gun-ho. I think the tactical side of the game is focused on less, and it's more about it's very end-to-end entertainment, just like you have in basketball, right? And
right.
Just like you have in NFL. And so I think that is probably the big difference between US football and European football. European football is a lot more tactical. It's more like chess. The game can be slow, and then it's very, very quick. It's very, very quick. In America, it's just quick all the time. It's just end to end. It's there's not much structure to the game. There's not much story to the game. It's just a heavyweight boxing match with people throwing wild swings. And I think that's the biggest difference.
And when you came here, obviously you Americanized even your pay, right? You decided to accept salary in crypto, in Bitcoin at the time. I think it was a good decision, right? In 2021, Bitcoin was what, 40K?
Yeah,
I don't even remember.
I think it was around actually 50.
50K.
Yeah.
So now it's like over 100,000.
Yeah.
Was that a good decision for you to accept your salary in crypto?
I mean, I hope so. So far, so good. But I think more so than the price or what was gained or lost. I think it's more the reason why I announced that was more because of the meaning behind Bitcoin and the values again behind Bitcoin. I think they're extremely powerful in a society like we have today, and that was why I announced it, because I wanted to raise awareness on something that maybe people don't really understand. I was fortunate enough a few years before I moved to Miami to study it and as best as I could and understand it, and I want the same for other people. And so I know I have a big following. Sorry, not a big following. I have people that follow me and
right.
are interested in what I do, and I think that's one of the it's one of the most important things to try to get people to understand.
Right.
You know,
advocacy, right? You're advocating for a new
something that I believe is good.
So you still believe in crypto, obviously. Something that you still believe that Bitcoin.
I'm a big believer in Bitcoin. Crypto, I honestly don't understand enough about the rest of the crypto industry. I understand a few things, but yeah, I would have to fully understand it before I can advocate it. But I understand Bitcoin enough where it gave me the confidence to let people know that this is something that I engage with.
What was the craziest thing that happened to you in Miami so far? Because Miami, only in Dade, right? Only in Dade is crazy things that happen in Miami. And what is the craziest thing you've seen here in this town?
Good question.
It could be in soccer. It could be in life. It could
Yeah.
Miami is a crazy, wild place.
Let me think.
Like a player accepting salary in crypto. That's in Bitcoin. That's
the beautiful thing about Miami is that people are more open here to having those kind of discussions, and that's also why I moved here, because I realized that the city was very forward thinking in that way. But yeah, I can't think of the craziest thing that's happened, even though I think my life is pretty crazy here. But I would say, I mean, football wise, the weather is obviously like is obviously completely different, and you have the rules with the lightning, of course, for health and safety. And so sometimes you'll start a game and have to go inside for 2 hours and wait to come play the rest of the game. That was obviously new and pretty wild.
Right. FIFA, we need to work on that for the World Cup for sure. I think we need to be.
God, yeah.
I think we just had that with the Club World Cup, but you cannot have players playing at 110 degrees and lightning is just it's a lot. Even some clubs in Europe, they were complaining, right, in the Club World Cup that this was kind of bad for them, for the players.
Yeah.
If you were playing at the time, would you? I think the weather is a factor that contributes for.
Yeah, I don't think the players were complaining. I think the players also want the best for the fans.
Right.
And if they know that they can't perform at the same level as they do in other environments, then they're not going to be able to put on the kind of show that they want people to see. You have to remember, like, these players want to create historic moments for fans and also, for themselves, for their families. And it's very frustrating when you can't perform the way you can. So I understand the players for coming out and speaking about that.
Speed round. So you can only answer one thing. There is no context. There is no Pura Vida or Carrot Express.
Pura Vida.
And R9 or Messi?
Oh. Messi.
Pelé or Maradona?
Pelé.
London by night, by the evening, or Miami after hours?
London by evening.
I agree with that. London by evening. Classy as it is.
Yes.
Crypto or cash?
Crypto.
Crypto it is. What is your favorite restaurant in Miami?
There's a place called Sonny's.
Sunny Steakhouse?
Sonny's, yeah, I like Sonny's.
Very good.
Yes, it's very nice. There's also a place called San Lorenzo in kind of like Little River Way. And also the same ownership is another restaurant in Coconut Grove called Cotoletta.
Cotoletta.
It's very nice. Only does one dish.
What is the dish?
The dish is a Milanese, like a veal Milanese. And then they have at the other restaurant only three dishes. Like
Argentinian Milanese or Italian Milanese?
Italian.
Italian Milanese.
Yes, Italian. Check it out.
I will, for sure. Well, Kieran, thank you so much for being at the game plan. Appreciate the weather is sunny as in the pitch, right? But thank you. Appreciate being at the game plan. I'll see you next time on Game Plan. Game Plan is brought to you by Inter. Nearly 40 million clients around the Americas. You want to know more? Download Inter right now. Stay tuned for more.